When we first met Katie Bowling of Penticton, she was a lively 7-year-old, and the fact that she had spina bifida didn't slow her down. Spina bifida is a birth defect that occurs during early pregnancy. The spine does not close up properly, resulting in permanent damage to the spinal cord. There is no cure.
1, 2,
Katie was helped
3,
by the Spina Bifida clinic at BC's Children's Hospital, whether she needed physiotherapy, a new leg brace, or surgery. And it all paid off, as Katie was able to do nearly anything a girl her age would want to do.
there.
6 years later, Katie is still busy with school and other activities. She loves going to Pathfinder Camp in the summer, and she takes part in several sports.
I really like wheelchair sports. They're like basketball and badminton.
Katie also uses a wheelchair at school. It's the easiest way for her to get around with all her textbooks. Katie rarely has to travel to Children's Hospital these days, but it's good to know that her hospital support team is always just a mouse click away.
I can get in contact with my nurse clinician up in Vancouver through email. Like if I have a concern or anything, I email her, and then she gives me suggestions for what I can do in Penticton or makes arrangements for if I do need to go to Children's.
13-year-old Katie Bowling is growing up with a little help from BC's Children's Hospital. When we first met Maria Iborra of Vancouver, she was one of Children's Hospital's tiniest patients. And so was her brother Mark, and her other brother Edwin. The triplets were born 15 weeks premature. Each weighed less than 2 pounds at birth. The special care nursery at Children's Hospital provided expert round-the-clock care and support, not only for the triplets, but for their parents as well.
Seeing your kids like that, they're very tiny, you know, all you feel, you know, are they gonna survive? Are they gonna be, you know, but they're all behind you, they're all supporting you, and it's really good.
What? Oh, yeah, this isn't working.
3 years later, it's difficult to get Edwin, Maria, and Mark to sit still all at the same time, but they can manage it for a minute or two. The triplets are all developing normally. They finally went home after spending several months in hospital. For their parents, it was a miracle times 3.
I would like to thank the BC Children's Hospital and all the staff there who look after my kids. Without the Children's Hospital, I don't know whether I'll have them right now.
Maria, Edwin, and Mark Iborra are growing up, with a little help from BC's Children's Hospital. When we first met Rosie Hourigan of Victoria, the 4-year-old was already a true survivor. When she was 2, Rosie contracted an infection that slowly destroyed her kidneys. She had a kidney transplant at BC's Children's Hospital, but a few weeks after that, Rosie's body began rejecting the new organ. She suffered 3 strokes and fell into a coma. The Children's Hospital team fought to save her kidney and her life, and they won. Like all transplant recipients, Rosie needed a lot of initial follow-up care, which she could only receive at Children's Hospital. 5 years later, Rosie is thriving. She still comes to Children's Hospital for monitoring every few months. On this day, she is having a detailed scan of her transplanted kidney and a thorough checkup. This 9-year-old girl who came so close to losing her life now has a very bright future.
I want to be a veterinarian.
Rosie's prognosis is great. We know that she'll need another transplant in all likelihood eventually, but it could be when she's an adult, the rate she's going.
Rosie Hourigan is growing up with a little help from BC's Children's Hospital. When we first met Brandon Armstrong of Terrace, he was in the Children's Hospital playroom with his mother, Joy, and the 2-year-old was having some car trouble.
Can you jump?
Brandon was about to have his 3rd major surgery at Children's Hospital. He was born with Apert syndrome, a rare disorder that causes the bones of the toes, skull, and fingers to fuse together before birth. That surgery was for Brandon's hands, as plastic surgeon Dr. Doug Cordemonch and the surgical team gave Brandon what he'd never had before: fully separate fingers. 5 years later, Brandon has once again come from his home in Terrace to have surgery at Children's Hospital. Brandon has been doing well at home and at school, but the 7-year-old needs to have facial reconstruction. Because of his Apert syndrome, his facial bones are too close together, so he's having trouble breathing and chewing. Once again, Dr. Cordemonch will lead the surgical team. The operation will take 13 hours. Waiting for surgery is stressful for Joy, for Brandon, and for Brandon's father, Trevor. After Brandon is sedated and wrapped in his favorite Harry Potter blanket, Joy takes him into the surgical suite. She is allowed to be with her son right up until the time he is anesthetized. Today's surgery will move his eye sockets forward, open up his nasal passage, and realign his jaw. Hopefully, he will not need any more operations. But no matter what, Children's Hospital is there for him.
One of the nurses, Kathy, in intensive care, she was great. She, was reassuring me he's going to be okay and they're going to take good care of him. And I know they do. They're great. They really are. Their first priority are the kids here.
Brandon's new face will take months to heal, and follow-up visits to the hospital are part of that process. Fortunately, he still likes going to the hospital's playrooms. Brandon Armstrong of Terrace and thousands of other kids from every corner of British Columbia are growing up happier and healthier with a little help from BC's Children's Hospital.